That's not your garden variety stiff out there. Something very strange did that.
A legendary creature with an unearthly thirst for revenge.
She would transform herself into a giant spider, sting them, wrap them in her web, and feed on them at her leisure.
It's happened again. What did you see?
I saw a spider.
Who can survive the curse of the Black Widow?
Yes. Next week on the Drive-In Asylum Late Movie, we'll watch the Kolchak movie that's not a Kolchak movie. The first true dramatic role for Pinky Tuscadero, Roz Kelly. Curse of the Black Widow, and of course Anthony Franciosa.
And Hardboiled Haggerty showing up for a second there, that bald guy, former pro wrestler.
You know he got my attention.
I know. As soon as I said, I wonder if Bill likes Hardboiled Haggerty.
Kinda.
Yes. Yeah.
I love how scared he is in it too.
Yeah.
They were like, we have to think of the toughest looking guy we know, and then we have to show him really scared of something. So we know this monster is really scary.
Yeah. So what everybody think of our last movie? What'd you think, Bill? Your first time watching it?
I loved it. It was much better than Cats. I'm gonna see it again and again.
What a plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Bill said it best. Don't open the freezer door when you know the power's out. That's a bad idea.
That is like home ownership 101. You know, the power goes out if you open the fridge, you're taking 6 hours off of your freeze time.
Yeah. I like that every one of these women were just like, once they found out he was an artist, you think I can pose? You think I'm good enough to be a model?
Yeah, it was like everyone in this movie every woman was so vain that she would just faint. Someone would want to paint her portrait.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike sums it up best. It's a weird PG related cross between Calling Me Blood Red and Hatchet for the Honeymoon. It really is. It's just something about it though. I love the painting. I love that whenever we see inside his mind and there's all that fog and those women are on the ship. That scene's amazing. Yeah.
Well, strong maniac vibes too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of it, especially that scene of him freaking out on the bed and imagining everyone walking around the house and seeing all the things he had done to kind of get to where he is.
I loved how he kind of went Mrs. Deer from Blood and Lace too.
Yeah.
There was that one part where he was talking to the frozen girls. I was like, oh, aren't you glad I dragged you into this freezer? You could have bled to death.
Also, why didn't he just take Polaroids? They had Polaroids back then.
Because then we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah. Why won't you just stand still? Why won't you be still?
I used to ask that of my upstairs neighbors all the time.
Yeah. But you know what is great is the bar scene we talked about. That bar was amazing with that wallpaper. And how about he just went to, I like that he's like, I'm going to go to Montreal for a bit just to give you a little travelogue footage. And Bill said to me, why didn't you tell me that there was this dancing scene with Waterbug in it, which I assume you're going to see on the show sooner than later.
Possibly.
How does Neil Sedaka figure into this movie? He kind of disappears and doesn't come back.
There was a total drama moment there too, because that woman was like fawning all over him, and then there was another woman crying.
They're sisters. That's what's crazy.
There was never such a pair of sisters.
So yeah. There you go. The first Canadian, I saw someone say in the chat, the first Canadian in color horror movie. So some history with this movie.
I thought Sedaka looked old even though he was young.
Yeah. I like it's like by 67 there had been some pretty heavy bands and he's like, I'm going to play for the kids. And it's like, okay. When he gets up on stage, you're like, it seems like your parents' music, but okay.
He found his niche a little after that, I guess.
Yeah. You know what? Eldon brings it up. Be wary of men wearing sandals and white socks. Yeah. And carrying spear guns. If you get off a boat in a swamp with a guy and he picks up a spear gun to take pictures of you or to paint pictures of you, it seems like something bad's going to happen.
Oh, Vince Cornelius. I love Bad Blood. With background vocals by Elton John. Neil Sedaka's hit from 76, I think.
Oh, man. Yeah, but he's in this, and this is the first and last movie he was ever in. Never again to grace the screen.
Shocking.
Yeah. Also, we had the girl wearing a Italian Gothic outfit, the white diaphanous gown, as she wandered the house and tried to get him interested in her. And he was, you know what? By the end, he's just like, you know what? Let's cut out the middleman. I'm just going to kill these women right
Yeah.
away.
Like,
And
what was he even waiting for all that time? He preferred to do all the work she wanted him to do. If he'd killed her right away, he wouldn't have had to have done all that.
well, also the other girl you said to me, it's like, why is he telling her all about his life? And like, he's just going to kill her. He's like, my mother. And then there was a different story every time. Oh, I'm here for my dad. Oh, I'm here for my mother. And then I like that, he's like, this is going to work out just fine. Oh, don't open that door. And then she goes in there. Steve brought up this is where Cliff Booth got his spear gun from. I really want to go back and see the shots to see if Tarantino actually took that shot of the spear gun being shot for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because it feels deep cut enough to make sense. That spear gun shot. I like that the spear gun sent her flying and flipping over, and then those guys came running right away. They're like, "Can you imagine?" They were just like on that river, and they're like, "Oh, somebody's painting someone. Oh, we just shot her with the spear gun. Let's get him!" And then they
Did they
chase him
see
through the
that, or
woods.
did they just see her fall?
I don't know. I like that. My favorite thing, though, and you called it out, is whenever he's running like this, and then it just freezes, and then the credits start putting up by his face. I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty rad."
Yeah, it was just unlikely to have happened that way in real life, and that's just the way we like it.
All the women saw him as a project. They're like, he yells at me all the time about not moving, and he's really ill-tempered, but I can change him.
I don't
I
know
can
what
make
anybody saw in this guy. He was
oh,
creepy. He was,
yeah, and he was like arched eyes all the time.
yeah. I mean, like, look up creepy in the dictionary, and there is the photo of the Playgirl Killer. So I don't know why these women kept coming on to him like he was some hot piece of ass or something. He was not.
They thought he was. In the world of this movie, amazingly, in the world of this movie, the guy who wrote it created a character where every woman saw him as a piece of ass.
He's a creep is what he is, and he's too much. There's too much baggage there. Pass that
Yeah.
by.
Also, if I was working in someone's neighborhood for the power department, they would get 2 or 3 knocks tops. You know what I mean? They wouldn't get 12 knocks.
Well, it's a good thing he knocked all that time because
Oh.
he went down and saved that lady in the basement.
I like that he was going to walk away, and he's like, "Should I stick around?"
Yeah.
Also, he's like, "All I'm trying to do is tell people their power is shut off." I did not imagine that a redhead would be tied up in the basement and that a man was going to be shot in the neck with an arrow by a dead woman. I did not realize that this is what's going to happen.
It was a Jeffrey Dahmer type of thing. Like he could have
Oh.
just walked away, and then that guy would have kept on doing what he was doing.
He would have. He got away with it for a while. There was nobody. I mean, what a plan! He like killed somebody that had the house, and
It was like Scream Bloody Murder.
Yeah,
where he killed the old lady and the maid and took the house. He's like, "Look, this is my house now." At least though, he made up a story at the one. He told the one girl that it was his dad's house, and he didn't really live there. So that was,
also, do you like his like? "Hey, my sister has some nice outfits.
yeah,
Pick out something that looks good.
because
Of my
that's not
sister's
creepy.
clothes. Yeah, put on this other person's swimsuit and come swim with me." It was unhygienic at best, and they paid for it with their lives.
Yeah, the one woman was moving around the house like a robot.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure out if she was just a bad actor or if she was stoned or something. But she walked up all prim and proper, and then 5 minutes later, she was undressing in a stranger's bedroom to put on his sister's swimsuit.
And then she's like, "Oh, I've been roofied. 2 movies tonight where guys, horrible misogynistic men in both movies tonight." Yeah.
But, she, not to victim blame or anything, but how dumb was she? She got off the train and looked in the newspaper and she went to this house, so she didn't know who was there. And she told them no one knew where she was. Come on. Doesn't she watch movies like this?
we were talking about House of the Devil. It's a lot like that, where they're like, we don't need you to watch our son. We need you to watch Mother, and you'll never see her. And it's like, there's so many times where we're like, you should probably leave. So many times, and she's like, yeah, I'll stick around. They're paying me a lot of money.
It's not a good idea. And Paul
No,
Doliner, yeah, we said that he really should have known not to open the freezer. That's you just don't do it.
nope, don't open it up because you're gonna let all the body out. They're gonna. I like that he was realistic enough that he knocked the arrow and he pulled it back, and that her fingers were eventually going to slip off it when they pulled them out.
I didn't understand that. Like it wasn't that posed. I mean, how could that really happen?
Yeah, and it's like after death, like you can't make fingers squeeze. You know what I mean? It's like you can't, like, I don't know, whatever. I know it's not reality, but you know.
Maybe he shellacked them. Well, they were frozen.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Maybe he froze them in that shape. Maybe that was his biggest skill, is that he knows how to freeze bodies into a certain shape.
But
that should have been his.
He brought them out to paint, though. So why weren't they melting when he was sitting there painting them for hours and hours and hours? They were sitting out thawing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Also, he's not good at sketching. Like, he was like I like that he got so frustrated by trying to sketch her. He's like, I'm going to bed.
I think he was just untalented, and that was his problem.
Yeah. If he was a talented artist, the girls moving around wouldn't bother him. But the first girl, we have to admit, the first girl was moving around way too much. Like, she wasn't even looking at him. She was whipping her hair around. And it's like, he's trying to sketch you with his spear gun.
Yeah, but I don't think he actually told her that he was sketching her. That's the other thing. He would just start doing it. And he just assumed because he had started doing it, the women would know they weren't supposed to move under penalty of death. So the problem was all him.
She moved. The first girl moved twice, and he started fingering that spear gun. He was like, I brought this for just such an occasion.
It took nothing for him to. It was like 0 to 60.
He has balls, because he was like, I'm going to take her to a beach or a river or a swamp, wherever they're at, where there's obviously people around, and I'm going to shoot her with the spear gun. I don't care if there are people around.
Yeah.
Like,
he doesn't care.
No, he didn't care at all. He was an artiste.
He'd be like, well, hey, she moved.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have
He
done
should have just told those guys. Maybe those guys were artists too. He was like, she wouldn't stop moving. They're like, God, don't you hate that? Yeah, I wish I could shoot someone with a spear gun too. And he's like, well, I did it.
If it was the centerfold girls, they would have helped him throw her in the river.
Oh, yeah, they would have. They were like, oh, these women are horrible. Yep. He was in the wrong movie. In the wrong film.
I wonder what Siskel and Ebert thought of the centerfold girls. I wonder if there's a Roger Ebert review of that movie.
Let me see if there is, because they have all these movies on the site. I'm looking right now on my magic box.
It seemed like the kind of thing that they would really get their knickers in a knot over, the centerfold girls. I know we're talking about the Playgirl Killers.
Nothing online for it. Yeah, it feels like a movie Roger may have liked, and Gene was probably like, this movie is horrible. I'm giving you the addresses of everybody in it.
I mean, it wasn't quite I Spit on Your Grave, but there was a lot of brutalization of women in that film.
Yeah.
Which is what Roger Ebert objected to. So
yeah.
Yeah. But Playgirl Killer didn't have any of that. It wasn't really all that graphic. A little.
There was a bit of the blood in the beginning was there was a fair amount of blood, but yeah. It was PG. It felt PG-ish. That's kind of what I like about it. I like that you start the movie off with this like bang, right? Of this girl getting shot with a spear gun, and they're like, well, what if we had some soap opera for the next half an hour that we'll never get back to? And also dancing scenes and what?
Neil
Like, what is
Sedaka.
going on? Yeah, with the Sedaka. It's almost like Sedaka's in a totally different movie that some of the characters cross over into. And I dig that about it.
Well, you did say that this was episodic, so maybe you were
Yeah.
that was what you were referring to earlier.
Tracy said, "What was up with the last lady just throwing herself at him? She was instantly horny for him." I agree. Like every woman was. They're like, "Oh, you're an artist." Like,
Yeah.
Would you want to say? From personal experience, I'm an artist. Nobody wants me to sketch them. I've never had a woman say, "Would you like to draw me?" No, never. Draw me like your French girls. Yeah, Cubby
Well,
will ask me to draw him, but that's about it.
it was a highly specialized situation, Sam. She was there alone with him at this
Yeah,
beautiful estate. She had just nosed her way into his life and down into the cellar where this painting was. And she was looking at the painting, and it was this vaguely sexualized depiction of women she knew. At least one of them she knew. So she
yeah,
just found herself in this situation where she's like, well, can I be the other person in the painting? And
yeah. Can I be the
too
girl
bad
who's
she
piercing
was.
you with? Can I be the one piercing you with an arrow? Can that be me in this painting? Cupid, shoot that arrow in my heart. I'm glad we watched it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Literally, I texted you the minute I finished watching it a week ago, and I was like, "We need to show this movie. This movie feels right."
I love that there's a certain kind of movie that feels right.
Oh yeah, this does because it's like nobody is talking about it at all. Nobody was talking about it when it came out, and it's just weird, and just a lot of it makes no sense whatsoever. I'm like, that's perfect. That is exactly what it should be.
Yeah, it did have a very strong Scream Bloody Murder vibe going on. So of course I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. Also, like, yeah, you can tell he's psychotic just by spending 2 minutes with him. And she's like, I should go to the basement with this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like nobody was paying attention. They were all out to lunch.
They were because they're like, certainly no artist has ever killed anybody so that they can use blood for their paint or they're a vampire or do you know what I mean? Like all the reasons why in every one of these movies where an artist becomes a killer. And it's like, I guess all artists are good people. Why nothing bad will happen to me if I go to his basement. Should I open this door and see if all my friends are dead? Yeah, maybe you should. I don't know. I'm happy that I watched it again. It makes me pleased. I wish that I could go to that bar though with that wallpaper and God, that bar was gorgeous. And
Oh my
the
God.
music's so fun in this too. I love that too.
You know I
I
was
also
so
love
into that bar.
oh I know. And I love that you caught out like there was like a minute missing at the end where they're in the house 1 second, next section she's falling down. He dragged her the whole way back to that house too. Like that was a long drag. Like he's superhumanly powerful. And he's able to just set up frozen people in a tableau. He's got I mean, we can't deny he might not be the best painter, but he is skilled at other things that I don't know how else you could use them. Like, is there another field where like you're really good at the freezing bodies and putting them into poses? I don't
Mrs.
know how
Deere
this.
could have used his services for whenever that guy
Yeah,
came to check on the children in the infirmary.
yeah, yeah. I like this letterbox list idea that Chris has. Artist is killer. Yeah, this is one of them.
Yeah. Bloodbath is another
Yeah,
one. That's the one where the
yeah,
guy is like sometimes he's a vampire
yeah.
for real, and other times,
Sometimes not.
yeah, other times he's like someone that puts people in wax or boils them down to bones. I forget.
I watched Night of the Ghouls today, the Ed Wood movie, and there's a character named Dr. Acula in it. And
Yeah.
literally the minute that I said it, I was like, for God's sake, has no one seen through this ruse? Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, guys. But they didn't. Uh
They
I
didn't see through Alucard, so why not that?
no. Bucket of Blood, yeah, Tim brought up. Color Me Blood Red is another one. Uh what's the Roger Corman one where the one with where he has all the sculptures and he turns them into their people.
Isn't it Bucket of Blood?
Oh, it is Bucket of Blood.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, there's also House of Wax. Don't forget.
Yeah, House of Wax.
My Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, I like artists as killer movies. They're fun because artists are so close to madness anyway. So when they go over the edge, you're like, yeah, well, that makes sense. So cool. I'm glad everybody got into this. I saw that Lee gave it a 6, so that's pretty good. 6 out of 10 is pretty solid rating.
Yeah,
I gave a movie on Letterboxd like a 2 the other day, and they said someone wrote this is the best rave review of I've ever read of a movie that was given 2 out of 5. I'm like, 2 out of 5 is like my jam. That's pretty good. A Night Child features a painting, not the artist. Crucible of Terror, Mike Justice says. Yeah, there's some good ones. Every horror movie that takes place in a wax museum. Nightmare in Wax. We might be seeing, spoiler, a wax related movie soon on the show in a few weeks. Becca is going to be doing her birthday show. She's picked 2 movies for her birthday. She's very excited about. And she said after this, people will say Becca should pick all the movies. So that's pretty good. So we shall see.
Look at this fabulous.
You know what's another one we showed? The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock is an artist is murderer kind of movie too.
We didn't show that.
We didn't show it yet, but I mean that's another one. This ad is awesome. Wow. Look at that.
The Exterminator kind of doesn't belong in this ad.
No,
I
it
guess
doesn't.
maybe. I don't know.
It's a canon movie. Maybe that's gives it license. I would say of these though, I know you love Death Ship.
Yes.
I love Happy Birthday to Me. I think it's really good and underrated. And obviously we know Phantasm. We know how we feel about that. And My Buddy Valentine too. This is a great night. $3.
Yeah, that's it. And you got a free box of popcorn and a free movie pass.
Oh, what's that? I wish I could read that warning down there. I'm sure it's you're going to die of fright.
Yeah, it's like we're not responsible if you can't handle this terrifying lineup of 5 movies. That's a long night. It
is, but worth it.
5 movies, man. I don't know if I could do that now. Like I remember that a lot of those early Monsteramas didn't end until 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah. To see Death Ship at a drive-in, I think you'd do it.
I don't know. I mean, like I just don't know if I could physically do it now. I'm getting old, darling.
Yeah. I'm sure you've seen those drive-ins that had like a hotel that you could watch the movies from your hotel room. That's like a dream. That would be a dream.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, this is a really wild night.
It's crazy.
This is crazy because these movies go from classy, like I consider Psycho classy, and then The Boy Who Cried Werewolf.
Mm-hmm. So this was in the mid-70s, I guess.
Yeah. Is it possible in this day and age? Because those who didn't believe are dead. The Boy Who Cried Werewolf.
Yeah. So technically, only people that don't believe in it are left. Or no, wait. I guess I got that.
That's one of the first bootlegs I bought.
They're right. I apologize.
So I love that movie. I like Hands of the Ripper a lot too. So this is a big night for me here. This is an evil Frankenstein. I mean, come on. In color, no less.
I can't remember that one. I get those like horror of Frankenstein and evil of Frankenstein. Yeah. I don't know. I get confused.
I like that clip art for this though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Midnight Wake Show.
Oh man. I like that they kept leaving. It's fall to horror. Wow. With Man, what a night at a movie.
Well, yeah, this started at midnight, so they were only giving you 2. This must have been the late feature at the
Yeah.
Tulare Square. Sorry, you all had to hear me refilling my drink. They didn't tell you what
5
these
horror
were.
flicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting 5 at the auto theater, but we don't know what they are.
Maybe they just assume you didn't care.
Nah, like $3 at Carwood. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just come.
Isn't that how much the one with Death Ship was when there were 5 horror movies?
Yeah. Maybe they're the same ones. Wow, Bill.
This is weird, isn't
Wow.
it?
Yeah, it's real weird. First off, that Friday the 13th looks like a metal band logo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very Iron Maiden. That Y is awesome. Like that font is great. But wow.
It looks like someone did it with electrical tape. Wendy O.
Yeah.
Williams did it with electrical
Yeah.
tape.
Fright Slithis Communion Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster. Oh, in one night. I let you, of course, Pretty Baby, America's Next Young Star, appearing in a movie for a few minutes that was made 6 years ago or more. Also, the name of this drive-in's awesome. The Gay 90.
The Gay 90, yeah.
Is great. I'm sure nobody made jokes about it. They got a Roger Ebert quote into that ad too, which is pretty awesome. Wow.
Speaking of Grizzly.
Yeah. Wow, with Scream Blackula Scream.
And Baby Blue Marine.
Yeah.
Remember that?
No, I never saw that.
Jan Michael Vincent in a sensitive role.
Man.
So sensitive. He's like a
I
soldier
like Chosen. Go ahead.
He's a soldier that went AWOL. And he goes back to his little hometown or no, he stops in this little town somewhere where they mistake him for a war hero.
Ah.
But he actually, went AWOL. Drama,
Man.
high drama.
What's the second movie? The Black
Bird.
Ah, okay. I love the Creeping Flesh though. So
And Chosen Survivors.
Chosen Survivors, yeah.
It's just beautiful.
It is. Plus Deathmaster. God damn it. Deathmaster and Scream Dracula Scream is a great double feature. Scream Blackula Scream, I mean.
Plus Ride in a Pink Car.
Yeah, that's a big night. Dusk to Dawn at the Twin.
Ride in a Pink Car was the movie that Bob Emery was talking about in my interview with him. I can't remember what the connection was to Ride in a Pink Car. Let me see if I have any more ads in here. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
From our friends in Canada.
Wow. Stella Stevens and Las Vegas Lady.
You can't stop Stella Stevens.
You can't. Why would you even try to contain her? I like Mary, Mary, Bloody Mary a lot. We showed that on the show.
But there's only there's only 2 Marys in the title. It's not Mary, Mary, Bloody Mary. It's just Mary, Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I like using the full. Horror High is probably your favorite on this, huh?
Naturally, yeah. I feel like it honestly, it is.
I like that they decided to tell you 2 things here. One, see the Emmanuel girls come and conquer. And then wanton and degenerate. Death Machines in the midst of a lot of, they're like, Death Machines is like the water in the Pepsi challenge here as you watch these other 3 movies. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, let's change it up.
See the Emmanuel girls come and conquer. That's a beautiful statement.
Yeah. Yeah. Smooth Velvet and Raw Silk.
Let me love you.
Yeah.
Come teach me. I wish it was come teach me.
I wish it was too. Oh. Death Machines.
Death Head Virgin. Do you know what that is?
No, what is that?
I've never seen it, but it's sort of like a night tide thing about a ghost of a girl, and she's on like in a sunken ship. I don't know. It looked
Oh,
interesting.
I've seen the poster before. It has like that weird Iron Mask kind of poster. Yeah.
Death Head Virgin.
Vic Diaz is in it. Wow. Cool. I'm gonna hunt it down.
I don't know if we ever got that in the States.
Diane McBain, who was in it, said it was the stupidest screenplay I ever had to work with.
That's high praise. Now I have to
There you
see
go.
it.
Yeah, directed by Norman Foster, who directed all the Mr. Moto movies and Charlie Chan movies. So, man, yeah, I got to see this movie now, Bill.
See, that's what
I'm
we're all
excited.
about here.
Yeah, I'm all about everything that's playing here.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I saved this stunner for last.
Oh my God. Screams of a Winter Night, Asylum of Satan, Kingdom of the Spiders, and Naked Evil.
I haven't seen Naked Evil. It's like a voodoo horror movie.
No.
Not to be confused
No.
with Mirrors. Voodoo horror movie.
Voodoo. That's a new genre we're really shooting for here.
Letterboxd list. Voodoo horror.
Yep. Voodoo horror. Serpent in the Rainbow is on that list.
Skeleton Key.
Yeah.
Well, is Mephisto Waltz voodoo?
It kind of. Angel Heart, Becca just said that's another voodoo one. Yeah.
Voodoo
Live and Let
Heartbeat.
Die.
Voodoo Heartbeat.
Yeah.
Voodoo Black Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. You know, I just learned that there's a nice cleaned up Blu-ray of that. And it's pretty cheap. So I think that's going to be my next acquisition.
The Believers, good call, Tracy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, White Zombie. The original White Zombie is a voodoo movie. Oh, voodoo. I got some movies in the mail, Bill, if you want to see what came in the mail this week.
Did ya?
Yeah. A lot of blank ones, but that's okay. This is from Radiance. I got The Shape of Night.
You got blank DVDs in the mail?
Well, they're the ones that don't have covers.
Oh, okay.
And Radiance also sent me Misunderstood that they're bringing out. And then from Arrow, we have the Scarface Mob, their 4K of Basket Case, and Tin Star. Pretty exciting. MVD also sent these. And then we have some ones that actually have artwork. We have a movie called Abandoned, Death Never Runs Out on Time. It's got a pretty cool cover. Never seen this, so pretty exciting. Ooh. A Nightmarish Secret. That's what I like. We got Christopher Lambert and Ice-T in Mean Guns. The MVD put that out, and it looks like an old video cassette. Even has the warning of the security stuff, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. And then finally, a Tinto Brass movie, which came from called Epics. So pretty cool. Really nice.
What's
cover.
the title of the movie?
All Ladies Do It is the title of the.
I couldn't read it because the text is backwards and the font is kind of Pac-Man-ish.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I didn't flip.
It looks like Pac-Man font.
Yeah, it is. From the director of Salon Kitty and Caligula. It's a 4K. Oh, the fanciness. But yeah, Tinto Brass. Who actually made a movie called P.O. Box 10 Tinto Brass about the letters that women wrote him after they saw his movies.
What kind of stuff did they write him?
Oh, they're like, I never believed it could happen to me, Tinto. But, and then the ... And then they went on. Yeah. So, pretty exciting. Oh, yeah. So, some other folks in here with Voodoo, Serpent in the Rainbow, and Don't Torture a Duckling. Yeah. Those are some interesting picks. I'm going to have to make a voodoo list. I'm working on my list, Bill, of movies where people throw a radio in the bathtub, too. I have several of those put together.
The only one I can think of is Don't Go to Sleep.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Jen and I were talking about it. And what was the other ones? Let me see. The Streak of the Mutilated has one, with a toaster though. Maybe I should expand it out to electronic things thrown into the tub.
Oh, okay.
Jen had a new list of new letterbox list movies where a girl is combing her hair in front of a mirror right before something bad happens. So she said Centerfold Girls and Halloween are the two starters on that list.
Annie, I guess, is combing her hair in front of a mirror
Yeah.
right before he gets her.
Oh, and in the beginning, there's the Judith
Oh,
Myers is
yeah.
combing her hair when her brother comes in.
Michael.
Yeah, her brother's like just walks right in when she's buck naked. Yeah, creeper.
She had panties on.
Yeah, I mean that's fine, right? Oh, yeah. I have my spoiled milk list on Letterboxd too of movies where there's poisoned milk. I have like 12 on that. I couldn't believe how many spoiled milk movies I found. So,
What's
a lot of Spoiled Milk Film Festival.
what are a couple spoiled milk films?
Let me look it up. Let me find it. It started as one day I was just watching a movie and I'm like, of course that milk's been poisoned. And I was like, how many movies have I seen in the last 2 weeks where there's poisoned milk in it? And then I just got obsessed with poisoned milk, being in movies. And that's all it takes, for me to make a letterbox
Well,
list.
so
Like,
it's
all right.
only milk that can be poisoned on this list. Like it can't be.
Yeah.
Like you just opened up the radio in the bathtub post to include other things.
Yeah.
So
So
can other drinks
here's my
be poisoned?
Yeah, no, just milk. And it says, I've seen so many movies that have poisoned milk as a murder weapon that I decided to start this letterbox list. Also, because sometimes I'm up in the middle of the night and I say I should make a letterbox list. The Gone with the Wind of poisoned milk movies is, of course, The Cat o' Nine Tails. There's poisoned milk. That's where I came up with it. Scanners 2, The New Order has a big subplot about poisoned milk. The Two Mrs. Carols from 1947. Impulse from 1984, The Woods from 2006, Confessions from 2010, Edge of Darkness. How can we forget the Revenge of the Living Dead girls? That's how the girls get turned into zombies because they drink poisoned milk. Shatter Dead has poisoned milk in it. Perverse Doll, Limuneca Perversa from 1969. Night of the Scorpion has poisoned milk. So does Rest in Pieces, Jose Larraz. The Killing Kind, Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker's got some poisoned milk in it. Greta from 2018,
Oh,
Shadow on the
yeah.
Wall, The Apostle, Erotic Symphony, Just Franco movie. The Fish Child, House and Marsh Road, Do You Know This Voice? No Harm Intended. The Public Pays, a movie called Horsey, Tick-a-dig. I don't even know what that one is. Bitter Harvest, Suspicion, The Black Cat from 1941, Sogadi Palam from 1996, and Execution from 1983. Yeah, that's a deep list of movies about bad milk. What are some, man? I have so many dumb lists on this site. I get excited about making lists. It helps me think through stuff.
I
You know,
couldn't
Bill?
keep up with list making. I don't know. I used to do it on IMDb
Yeah,
back when that was really the only game in town, I guess. And
I have a Edmund Purdom list. That's maybe too far, right?
no,
Yeah,
I mean, embrace your list making tendencies. Have
yeah,
as many lists as possible.
yeah. I mean, I have. Um, Man, what else is? Oh, these are a lot of them are just like, hey, Bigfoot movies I've seen, because I like to keep track of how many different Bigfoot movies I've seen. So, yeah, uh, if you're into a topic for movies where women has a ring that holds powder to poison drinks, man, that would be like thousands of movies
Ooh.
I would have. Oh, I have a Ouija list too of movies that have Ouija board scenes in it. So that's another one. The best thing I think, Bill, I sent you this week was that picture of that marquee from the children. That was in Times
Oh, that was
Square. Oh, how
beautiful.
beautiful was that?
Yeah. Where did you
Yeah,
send that
my
to me?
speaker went dead.
Did you send that to me on
Yeah,
Facebook?
I think I sent it to you just a
I,
text.
oh, you just texted it to me. I won't be able to bring it up.
No,
Anyway, I just wanted to know who
I should
made
have
that
sent it to.
display. It just seemed
I
like
said
a
Sam
oh, I heard
Sherman.
myself.
Sam Sherman. I said, yeah, it was like a beautiful, like the whole front of the theater was just taken up by it. Like it was so gorgeous. Can you
Well, they
imagine
they
walking
used the
past that
scene
and
where
seeing
that
that?
woman is standing on the front porch and the girl comes and hugs her and burns her up. So I've never seen that used in any promotional material for the children. So I just wondered, like, how did they make that? Like, was it just that one grindhouse on 42nd Street that had a children
Yeah,
display? It's pretty amazing.
yeah, that it was like a one and done. Like that's all that ever got that display.
A lot of those
Could you
movies did, like
imagine?
make them die slowly. I've
Oh,
seen pictures of that. The
what
Deadly
a time!
Spawn had an
Hey, the other thing
amazing.
I was going to bring up is
Huh?
I was going to bring up too that this week on the site, on the podcast, I got 2 episodes came up this week. One is female prisoner Scorpion Beast Stable, which is a Japanese women in prison slash Italian Gothic slash Giallo slash I don't know what it is movie that's pretty wild. And then I have an Easter episode, Bill, with 3 movies about the Bible: the Passover Plot, In Search of Historic Jesus, and The Greatest Story Ever Told. So there's that, and then a tease for next week's episode. It's an episode you're like, why? What took Sam so long to cover this movie on his site? That's my tease for the podcast next week. Lee said we need a female villain night. I agree with that. That would be pretty fun. So many movies to show. I'm really excited for next week's movie though, Bill. I really uh, Curtis Harrington is pretty fun, and it's a good TV movie.
It's been a while since we did a made-for-TV movie on this show, so
Yeah,
I tend to forget those, and there's so many of them that I like, but
yeah,
I don't know. I tend to only want to pick theatrical films, and that's not right. So we're going to correct that. More
yeah.
TV horror.
Just one movie next week though. Curse of the Black Widow at 11 p.m. Saturday night. Eldon said he saw a great Susan Lucci movie, Intimate Stranger, 100%. I love Susan Lucci movies. She made some great TV movies. That was in her deal to stay on the show, so it was pretty fun. James Drummond said, since it's Easter weekend, just thought if you consider theme features based on the holidays, such as Night of the Lepus, Watership Down, that's a great idea too.
Night of the
Holiday
Lepus.
movies. Yeah.
Bradley Steele
Night of-
Harding had that on his Facebook this week where he was watching that.
Yeah. Yeah, now Joe Bob watched Peter Rottentail last night. Was his one movie. He's only doing one movie now every 2 weeks instead of a double features.
Oh,
So,
bummer.
Yeah. I guess this will let him be on like 26 weeks of the year and not take breaks. So there's that. But yeah. I actually have a list on my site of different holiday movies, and I was kind of shocked that there are a lot of Easter movies. Who knew? There's a ton of Christmas horror is obviously a big deal, and it's gotten bigger. But especially during the slasher boom, you got like a movie for every holiday, pretty much.
And don't forget Thanksgiving.
Oh, did you see it yet?
I did like a skim. They had some scenes on YouTube.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I'm waiting for the price of it to come down before I buy it, though. It's still like $29 for a DVD, and I'm like, Seems kind of expensive, right? I'll give you a list of Easter movies before we go, Bill. How about that?
Okay.
April Fool's Day, 'cause that's coming up. I can think of 4 April Fool's Day movies. April Fool's Day, Killer Party, Slaughter High, and April Fools are April Fool's Day movies. Easter, The Being from 1983 is one. The serial killer movie Resurrection, in which a guy is trying to kill and take body parts to make a new body for Jesus. Angel of Death, Beaster Day, Here Comes Peter Cottonhell, Bunny Man, Easter Bunny Bloodbath, Easter Bunny Kill, Easter Casket, Easter Sunday, Cottontail, The Night Before Easter, On the Third Day, Rotten Tail, Serial Rabbit, and Serial Rabbit 3, Splitting Errors. There is no Serial Rabbit 2. So how about that? But when you get into Christmas and other holidays, there are several birthday movies too. There's Happy Birthday to Me, Bloody Birthday, Happy Death Day, and Happy Death Day to You. And probably the most famous movie that people don't think about being a birthday movie, Bill, Friday the 13th. Because as Mrs. Voorhees says, you see, Jason was my son. Today is his birthday.
Today is his birthday.
His actual birthday was June 13th, 1946, if we're to follow the original movie, the continuity of it. Madhouse is another birthday movie too, Bill, a movie that you and I like. We watched together a long time ago. AK, There Was a Little Girl. But man, there's tons of them. There's, American Gothic, Child's Play, Fear No Evil, The Mutilator, The Birthday Gift, Gone Wrong. Spookies is kind of sort of birthday movie. Sweet 16 is. There's a lot of fun ones. I really like thinking of why. And then the other theme I really like is important personal anniversaries. And the best example I can think of, Bill, is the one that you used for my credits tonight. Rosemary's Killer, aka The Prowler, is they should never have another dance. If you've learned anything from slashers, if there's been a horrible event at a dance, that and My Bloody Valentine, like, don't have another dance, don't have another party, just let it go. The sequel,
it's not a good idea. Yeah,
because they're like, nothing bad will happen. It's been 40 years. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff's going to happen.
Some copycat is going to come along and want to hijack that whole holiday murder thing.
They are.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Is the Suckling a birthday movie? Sure.
Yeah. It's also a strange anti-abortion movie. The Suckling is.
The Suckling.
Yeah. The Suckling.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. It was a lot of fun. And thanks
to you guys next week.
Thanks to our special guest, Jennifer Upton, who was on the first segment. Thanks, Jen.
And thanks for her staying up so late. It's she's several hours different from us, so that's a big deal to us that she's on the show. So thank you, Bill. Thanks for everything you do for the show, and thanks again to our sponsors this week. Yeah, I'm excited for next week. I'm going to make a spider drink. Who knows what it'll be? We'll have spiders in it, and then the week after that will be Becca's birthday week. And I'm very excited for both movies that she's going to show.
Put extra venom in your spider drink, please.
Yeah. I'm going to Spider Island for it. That's where I'm going to get the ingredients.
All right. So come hang out with us next weekend, Saturday night at 11 p.m. And see you then. Have a good week.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.